Thank you very much. The next speaker for the ID group, Mr. Madison.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I absolutely agree with both of the speakers, with Mr. Vice President of the Commission and Mrs. Roswell, that we have to continue with the support to Ukraine. There is no doubt about that. Where I'm a bit more concerned is about, with a hope only for the sanctions. Because sanctions can be effective in the long term, but we have never won any war with Russia only with the sanctions. I just checked about the numbers. Majority of the Western companies are still doing the business as usual in Russia. Only 8% of the companies have left Russia. So the sanctions are always tricky. So it's harming the both sides, but unfortunately, it's not harming enough Russia. So there is absolutely clear logic that we need more military aid to Ukraine to win the war. To reconstruct Ukraine, first of all, we win the war. We have to win the war, and then we can continue. Secondly, of course, we have to finance Ukraine to build up Ukraine again. But there has to be absolutely total control over the funds, what we are using from our taxpayers in Ukraine, because, well, we shouldn't forget that the corruption problem is not solved. It's not like gone in Ukraine with the war. So we just have to take this into account. But there is, of course, no doubt that we have to help to build up Ukraine again with the funds from the EU, from the European countries, but with absolutely clear control over the funds. Third point, if we want to really win the war and if we want to punish the aggressor, for me it was absolutely not understandable to read a few days ago when Mr. Macron, the French president, said that he will not doing nothing to block the Russian athletes to participate next year in the Olympic Games in Paris. At the same time, we know clearly from the numbers that from the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Russia won 71 medals, and 45 of them were from the athletes who are members of the Russian army. So their family members, at the same time, are occupying and fighting in Ukraine. And Russia has always used a sport as a part of the propaganda. There is no different things like a sport and the military actions. It's always connected. And I would like to see next year in the Olympic Games how Russia is using in the propaganda their medals in Paris, that they are part of the normal life, that nothing has happened. So they are just continuing to be part of the Olympic Games. And can we imagine that the Ukrainian athletes are shaking hands or are in the same competition with the Russian athletes who are part of the aggression? This has to be an absolutely clear message from the EU in the Olympic Games.
Excuse me,
Thanks
could
so
you
much.
finalize your... Thank you.